Hi, welcome back to A Guide to Surviving Stroke and Brain Injury. I wanted to make this video today because I'm having a really bad day. And so I decided to do this video not only for you, but as for me as well. This is to remind us, and especially me, there is still hope. Sometimes we may feel like this is never going to end, and our life is over. I'm going to try not to cry, but I'm having a really bad day. But what I hope to accomplish is giving you hope that progress can still be made even 2 to even 5 years or more after the post-stroke. So I felt so alone today and sad. I had a friend die 2 days ago. I have another friend who got in a serious accident, and her addiction is really out of control. And I've really been missing my son. I don't know what it is, but I always miss him. But the past week or two, I have really been missing him, and he's been so on my mind. And I just feel like I take 2 steps forward and then 5 steps back. I'm always in a battle with this recovery. I just want it to be over already, you know? But unfortunately, this is my life right now. And though I'm struggling today, I need to get back on the horse again. I tried calling Jessica because she has always been there and understands me, always. But I couldn't reach her. If you have support, you are truly blessed. But I feel like they can only empathize, not sympathize. They can never really understand what struggles we face each day because they don't deal with what we do, you know. I've heard I use my excuse of having the stroke too much, but when I don't remember something or start to cry, I can't control my emotions, for example. They don't understand why. They're confused. With the stroke, I know I'm better. I'm doing better, but I am still affected every day by my stroke. I am. I can't help it. I try not to let it bother me, but it does sometimes, and sometimes it gets me. It's just frustrating. So I'm going to remember that in order to take care of others, I need to take care of myself first, and that means getting better. I'm doing good for today, and I'll be better for tomorrow, right? Right. So here's some encouraging news that we both need. Hopefully you need to. So on research done after 2 years, 5 years, and after, okay? So consistent physical therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy helps patients get as close to a full recovery as possible. By the 2-year mark, one study found that 74% of patients could walk without assistance if they participated in consistent therapy during those 2 years. Fortunately, I just had the 2 months of therapy and once I got home, I had about 6 weeks of therapy, and after that, nothing. Because nobody told me, and I didn't do the research that every year I could do my therapy again, renew my therapy with my insurance. It was only with my friend Dave that he told me that every year I could do this. So after 2 years, I started therapy again. But during the time I didn't think I could anymore, I was doing at-home therapy. I was watching everything on TV. I was doing yoga, especially Tai Chi, because Tai Chi really emphasizes on balance. And so everything I researched, I did myself. until I found out I could go to therapy again. Recovery, it's true. Recovery occurs rapidly in the early stages. To understand what happens at the 2-year mark after stroke, it actually helps to first look at the first 3 months. The most intensive therapy happens during the first few months of inpatient therapy. The gains during this time are often massive. This sharp jump in progress occurs for 2 reasons. The brain is in a heightened state of plasticity where spontaneous recovery happens quicker, and inpatient therapy is often rigorous, requiring 3 hours of work per day. With such an intense workload, it's no surprise that patients recover rapidly during inpatient rehab. Unfortunately, stroke recovery often slows down, or plateaus, as I like to say, at the 3-month mark. At this point, therapists often discharge patients from inpatient therapy and move them to outpatient therapy. Outpatient therapy is less rigorous, it just is, which implies that patients need more sessions to produce the same amount of results. Unfortunately, when insurance only covers a limited number of sessions, this leaves much to be desired. The good news is that while recovery does indeed slow down after the first few months, recovery can continue for years as long as patients continue with regular, consistent therapy. After patients graduate from outpatient therapy, many are sent home with a mere sheet of exercises like I was to complete at home. This is not enough to produce meaningful results and get patients as close to a full recovery as possible. I mean, I advanced past what they gave me to take home. And so that's why I began to research. And thank God I did, because I got bored. And plus 2, I had already accomplished those goals. I wanted to accomplish, like, walking without my walker, for instance. And, I mean, if I didn't do the research, then I would have never found out. 2 years after a stroke, some patients feel like things are as good as they're going to get. But many are surprised at how much they can improve when they start doing daily rehab exercises at home, which I did, and thank God I did. Thank God. If you have participated in consistent therapy up to the 2-year mark, you are likely to achieve significant milestones. And even if you neglected therapy over the years, you can pick things up and continue recovery. Whether it has been 2 years since your stroke or more, there is always hope for recovery when you put in the work. Always hope. If patients are diligent with therapy, recovery often happens more quickly. That's because the exercises done during therapy are repetitious and help stimulate neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. Patients that participate in daily therapy or consistent therapy throughout the week often achieve major milestones by the 5-year mark. Patients that suffered mild or moderate strokes often achieve a full recovery by this point. Those that sustained massive strokes like I did are often still making progress, which I am. Massive stroke survivors often must work longer. By the 5-year mark, gross motor skills may have returned, meaning that arm and leg functions may improve. However, they still may have a long way to go for fine motor skills, which includes hand and foot function, which, if you watch my videos, you have seen proof that I don't have fine motor skills. In terms of stroke side effects, by the 5-year mark, most survivors should be able to walk again, with or without assistance. But issues like foot drop and poor hand function may linger for massive stroke survivors. Still, even two stroke survivors who both suffered massive strokes will have very different recoveries. Every stroke is different. Overall, the outlook 5-year post-stroke is optimistic for patients that can and are participating in daily therapy. Unfortunately, the opposite is true if therapy is neglected. When stroke patients fail to exercise or participate in therapy, their deficits may worsen. The concept of learned non-use illustrates this. Neglect of the affected limbs can eventually lead to total loss of control of that limb. And that backs up what I say, if you don't use it, you lose it. When stroke patients fail to exercise or participate in therapy, their deficits may worsen. I already read that, sorry. This concept was validated in one study that focused on stroke patients 5 years post-stroke. Researchers found that the level of function and motor performance at 5 years post-stroke was equivalent to the level measured at 2 months. This means that patients did not make any gains after the 2-month mark. Researchers credit the initial gains during the first 2 months of recovery to the intensive of inpatient rehabilitation. They state that rehabilitation after the 2-month mark deserves deeper consideration. While some outpatient clinics are particularly outstanding, Momentum Physical Therapy for me was bonus. I made such strides when I was seeing them, it was incredible. But of course, it came to an end. The issue occurs when insurance fails to cover more than 1 or 2 sessions a week, or sometimes not at all. With the high cost of stroke recovery, this leaves many patients without adequate access to therapy. Recovery is possible at any age and any stage as long as you put in the work. Therefore, if patients want to continue to improve after discharge from inpatient and outpatient therapy, they need a strong at-home therapy regimen. After discharge from inpatient rehab, you can still access quality therapy with the right home rehab equipment. Self-therapy with intense repetition can help boost your progress. Life after stroke is full of new variables, that's for sure, that require rigorous preparation in order to feel confident moving forward. So, I want to talk about 2 things. The first thing is healing during life after stroke. And I'm still trying to do this. So, this is talking to me as well as you. But focus on healing the brain. During life after stroke, repetition is everything. Repetition stimulates the brain and activates neuroplasticity, the process of forming new neural connections. Neuroplasticity is how the brain heals itself after stroke. It allows healthy parts of the brain to take over the functions that the damaged parts of the brain cannot execute anymore. The second one is participate in various therapies. It's likely that you have received or will receive therapy during inpatient and outpatient rehabilitation. The types of therapy you receive will depend upon your unique stroke side effects. Typically, therapy can include physical therapy to restore motor skills, occupational therapy to help with activities of daily living, speech therapy to restore swallowing abilities and language skills. And so you need to take advantage of the first 3 months post-stroke when neuroplasticity is in a heightened state. Therapy will have a greater impact during this time. 3. Motivate yourself at home. Nobody else is going to motivate you. You have to want it. You have to want to get better. People can encourage you, but only you can do it, and only you can do the work, and only you can get up and say, tomorrow is a new day. I'm going to do this and this and this. Only you. I mean, anyway, between outpatient therapy visits or after discharge home, it's important to keep exercising at home. Remember, it's all about repetition if you want results. It can be difficult to stay motivated with just a sheet of written exercises. Though instead, try investing in some motivating stroke rehab equipment. Home therapy devices like Flint Rehab's FitMe can help you accomplish high repetition of rehab exercises by gamifying the experience. This makes it more rewarding and satisfying. Plus, too, I did a variety of things. Like I mentioned earlier, yoga. It is very challenging. It's not as easy as everybody thinks it is. But throwing that into a mix of the bands I use to get my arm over here and to reduce spasticity. The clothespins. There are so many things you can find if you just research. And plus, too, if you go back through mine and Jessica's videos, hopefully you can find something there that will help you, that will break up the monotony of things, you know? For adapt first and then overcome. So when you consult with your therapist, they will probably recommend adaptive equipment and home modifications to help you stay safe during life after stroke. For example, if you have poor balance, they may recommend a walker or cane. You should definitely listen to your therapist and get any equipment they recommend. Me personally, I have a seat in my shower and grab bars in my shower and my garage. And I use them today, even though I'm better, I still need them. Especially in the shower, because when I close my eyes and tilt back my head to rinse out my hair, I get incredibly dizzy. So I hold on to it with my right hand and do everything with my left. So definitely consider those things as well as other things to help you adapt your life right now. It's not always going to be this way. Just like I was in my wheelchair, I went from my wheelchair to the walker to the cane with nothing at all. And I mean, you have to adapt to those things, but overcome them too, okay? Don't stop there, though. By continuing with physical therapy, you can keep improving, so one day you might not need those adaptive equipment things anymore. That's the difference between compensation and recovery, okay? Number 5 is help caregivers help you. I had caregivers for the first couple months, and then after that, none. But if you're lucky and blessed enough to have caregivers, please, please, please use them. Ask them for help. And here's the thing. During stroke recovery, patients might become more dependent upon caregivers to carry out certain tasks. Not everyone is born knowing how to help someone with disability. So make it easy on them. Don't yell at them. Don't get frustrated at them. They're doing their best. They're only trying to help. But when you get mad or frustrated at them, they get mad and frustrated and sad because they don't know what to do. So tell them, show them, whatever you have to do. Help them to understand how to help you, please. Next is eat well. Hopefully, life after stroke will involve healthier eating choices in order to prevent a second stroke. Many stroke risk factors like atherosclerosis and obesity can be improved with a healthy diet. Now, I've gained so much weight and I eat good, but for some reason I keep gaining weight. And this is the heaviest I've ever been in my whole life. I'm gonna cry again, sorry. And I feel like I go to work, I clean houses a couple of days a week, and the others I mow weeds. I'm constantly doing something, but obviously I'm not putting out more effort than I am in taking food or whatever. So that's one of the things I'm depressed about too. But I'm taking B1. It's supposed to help with energy, and I'll let you know if that helps. But any of the B group vitamins is supposed to be really good for you. I'll let you know though. Whew. Okay. So the second thing I want to talk about is lifestyle changes during life after stroke. Now that you have all the technical tips, let's move on to motivational tactics that can help you cope with life after stroke. This has been one of the most difficult ones I've had to deal with because I'm pretty stubborn. As my brother said, if you watch that video, I'm a pain in the ass. But I want to be independent. I want to be normal. I don't want to adapt. I don't want to call this my new normal. I hate those. That sentence. But anyway. So one of the things I had to do, and this killed me because the first time in my life I've ever experienced it, is make peace with slow. If you sustain motor impairments after a stroke like I did, then it probably makes everyday tasks take longer to accomplish, often leading to frustration, like a simple thing as making my bed or doing the laundry, like folding clothes. I was so OCD before, and I just can't now. No matter how much I try. For example, I did laundry today, and I folded shirts, and they didn't come out like I wanted them to. And so I was putting them in the drawer, and they got all messed up. That bothers me. You have no idea how much that bothers me. But there's nothing I can do, because when I try to fix it, this arm is trembling so bad. Anyway, during life after stroke, it's important to be patient with yourself, which I'm not, but I'm trying. This isn't a time where a fast-paced life is supported. It's just not. Instead, it's time to transition to a slow life, at least while you're in recovery. Give yourself the time and space to heal. You deserve it. Number 8 is boost morale with positive psychology. So, post-stroke depression is a common side effect that likely stems from the drastic changes following a stroke. When side effects are severe, it can compromise your ability to participate in beloved hobbies or carry out the activities of daily living. To help boost morale, try to apply neuroplasticity to mood. This is called positive psychology, and it works by repeatedly focusing on the good so that your brain naturally focuses on the good. There's more that goes into it, of course. You can talk to a therapist about how you're feeling, get books on how to live and adapt after stroke and brain injury. Go to your church, your pastor, talk to them about it, or find others like I did who understand what you're going through. Just don't camp there, okay? Which leads us to number 9, get support. So it's also important to support yourself during life after stroke. Try joining an in-person or online stroke support group. Also, it can help to make a habit of skimming Pinterest for motivational quotes for stroke survivors. Do whatever you need to do to keep yourself motivated on the road to recovery. I'm sorry, I'm tired. It's midnight here where I'm at, but I just can't sleep, but I am tired, so my voice is like worse than normal. Number 10, question everything. Life after stroke should be full of curiosity. If someone has told you that you can't do something, or that you'll never recover to a certain degree, challenge them. So, I went to several doctors at my 6 month after stroke point, and they all said the same thing. You're never going to get better. This is your life. You might as well, give your new norm, adjust to it. And so my left eye, of course, as I said before, it was all the way to the left. I was on my walker, had serious foot drop. My right arm was all the way over here. I couldn't even open up my arm. My hand. I had to force it open to grab my walker. I couldn't see. I couldn't talk. So here's all these doctors were telling me, you're never going to get better than this. And I was I'm going to cry again, I'm so sorry. But I was so sad and depressed, and I'm like, this can't be it. This is not why God saved me. And so thankfully, I said, screw you guys, and took it into my own hands. Like I said, I'm stubborn, and I was going to prove them wrong. So, every stroke is different, and every recovery is different. There are no limits, and the limits are unknown. I wish people would get it through their heads and realize there's no studies, not enough studies done on stroke patients, because they're just giving up on. And how many stroke patients believe that how they are at 3 months or 6 months or 2 years is how you're going to be for the rest of your life? Because it's not true. Now, am I going to say all stroke patients are going to have a full recovery? I don't know. I really don't. But as for me, I believe where I'm at today, my stroke was November 8th, 2016. It's now July 9th, 2020. So I'm a little over 3.5 years, and look at the progress I've made after those times. So I'm living proof that you should never give up. Never. And, excuse my language, but screw those doctors. They don't know. They have no idea. I'd much rather have them say, well, you've reached a plateau at 3 months, or 6 months, or a year, or 2 years. So a plateau is different than you're never going to get better, isn't it? So the language we choose is important. It really is. And so if more doctors would choose better words, I think more recovery would happen, because people would believe that instead of, I'm never going to get better. So, that's my rant. I'm sorry. So, strive for a full recovery from stroke by constantly challenging your beliefs, to see how far you can actually go. Don't challenge other people, because honestly, they really don't care. But you care about you. I know I care about me. And this, how it is now, is not good enough for me. This is not how I want to be for the rest of my life. This is not how I want to live. I'm not going to accept it. I'm not. So, my last point is keep going. Whether it's been months, years, or even decades since your stroke, recovery is possible. There have been patients as far as 30 years post-stroke improvement. Do you hear me? 30 years post-stroke improvement. So you never know. Time is not a judge. You can't put a time limit on things, on our recovery. Never give up hope. Trust that when you put in the work, your brain will respond. Remember to celebrate every victory. Never give up hope. And you are always loved by us. So thank you for watching me cry and being here for me. Like I said, today was a hard day, but doing this makes me feel better. So love you guys, and see you next time.